Today on Rappler, former Chief Justice Corona faces prosecutors in his tax evasion case. Outgoing Energy Secretary Almendras is named Secretary to the Cabinet. What are the advantages of coming together in one common market?
Well, one of course will be the business opportunities within ASEAN. My hope as an American is that as ASEAN comes together, it doesn't mean that they will be excluding products and investments from outside the region.
And a former ADB ambassador says a common ASEAN market means more business opportunities. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Dismissed Chief Justice Renato Corona faces prosecutors in a preliminary hearing of a tax evasion case. Also charged are his daughter Carla and son-in-law Constantino Castillo. This is the first investigation on Corona following his dismissal as Chief Justice last May. Corona submits his counter-affidavit Thursday. The government panel granted his 3 previous requests for more time to prepare his counter-affidavit. The panel also moved the hearing to November 16th. The Justice Department warned Corona its investigators will submit their own findings on the case for final resolution if he skips Thursday's hearing. Outgoing Energy Secretary Rene Almendras will be appointed Secretary to the Cabinet. The position is equal to the rank of a Cabinet Secretary. In a media briefing in Sydney, Australia, President Benigno Aquino also confirms reports Leyte Governor Jericho Patilla will be named Energy Secretary to replace Almendras. The Secretary to the Cabinet heads a group within the Office of the President that ensures directives in Cabinet meetings are implemented. But palace sources tell Rappler Almendras will most likely be tasked to ensure the delivery of strategic action plans. Julia Abad, the present head of the Presidential Management Staff, the position most similar to Almendras' new designation, will stay in her post, according to the President. The Judicial and Bar Council holds Day 2 of public interviews for the new Supreme Court Associate Justice. Court of Appeals Justices Jose Reyes and Noel Tijam agree with Chief Justice Lourdes Sereno's campaign for, quote, dignified silence as the court decides on cases. Former University of the Philippines Law Dean Marvic Leonen also agrees with Sereno. He says, quote, the justices' voices must be loudest in their positions.
The judiciary is not a political institution in the mold of the Congress and in the mold of the presidency or any other constitutional organ that has been established. There can be a point where when a magistrate, given the time, can evolve consistently its own judicial philosophy and apply it. And again, for so long as it is transparent and legitimate and legible to the public, and the public can make that judge or justice accountable, Your Honor, then therefore I think that we are on our way to be able to solve a lot of the social issues with consistency.
JBC members say Leonen's independence as a jurist may be questioned, referring to his position in the government peace panel. Leonen says President Aquino does not consult him on other issues aside from the peace process. Palace sources disclose that Leonen is the front-runner among the nominees. Former Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla says the public may need guidance to understand the court's decisions.
The educating or teaching function of the court may also require that at some level the public, particularly the mass media, may need some guidance or explanation on how the decision impacts the rights of individuals or the welfare of the country as a whole.
Also interviewed are Judge Adoracion Avisado and Court of Appeals Presiding Justice Andres Reyes. Former U.S. Ambassador to the Asian Development Bank Curtis Chin talks about renewed optimism in the Philippine economy and the challenges to sustain growth. He says for development to be substantive, governments and institutions must keep the welfare of the people as the main priority.
to work together.
What are the advantages of coming together in one common market? For
Well,
ASEAN?
one of course will be the business opportunities within ASEAN. My hope as an American is that as ASEAN comes together, it doesn't mean that they will be excluding products and investments from outside the region.
Yeah.
But clearly, my hope is that countries will come together. And I think it's particularly important that ASEAN strengthens itself. So it isn't one country negotiating with big China,
Yes.
but it's ASEAN as a region thinking through what is for the betterment of the region and for the world. So much.
As the K-12 bill advances in Congress, Education Secretary Armin Luistro says high school graduates will soon be ready for employment. In a speech before business leaders Wednesday, Luistro says they won't have to look for college graduates when hiring. Under the K-12 program, students will get 12 years of elementary and secondary education. The program aims to bring Filipino students at par with world standards. It was launched this school year despite the absence of an enabling law. House Bill 6643, which makes the K-12 program a law, is a step away from final approval in the House of Representatives. Tropical storm Ophel, international name Suntin, accelerates as it moves northwest towards the South China Sea Thursday. State Weather Bureau Pagasa says the storm is located 200 kilometers west of Manila. It's expected to be 530 kilometers west of Vigan, Ilocos Sur, Friday afternoon. Storm signal number 1 is up over Metro Manila, Bataan, Zambales, Cavite, Batangas, the northern part of Mindoro, and Lubang Island. Peace envoy Lakhdar Brahimi says Syria and most rebel chiefs agree to a truce during this week's Muslim holiday, boosting hopes of a significant breakthrough in the 19-month conflict. The Free Syrian Army, the main rebel group seeking to overthrow President Bashar al-Assad's regime, says it would cease fire during the 4-day Eid al-Adha holiday starting Friday, provided government forces stop shooting first. The rebels remain skeptical regime troops would indeed observe a truce. Rebels say, quote, "The regime has lied many times before. It's impossible that the regime will implement a truce." Filipinos are the second largest Asian American group in the United States. How much of a political force are Filipino Americans? Carmela Fonbuena filed this video blog from San Diego, California.
Hello from Pacific Beach, California. It's one of the states with a big population of Filipino Americans. I myself have been jumping from one city to another, visiting relatives and family friends. So I asked them what do they think of the coming elections. Political maps show that California voters favor the Democratic Party of President Barack Obama. But recent surveys show that Filipino Americans favor the Republican Party of Governor Mitt Romney. So it's mixed. I met 66-year-old Mr. Don Di Nieva of Long Beach, California, and he's going to vote for Obama for the simple reason that after 22 years here in the United States, he finally got his citizenship this year. To thank Obama, he's going to vote for Obama. I'm here in San Diego where there's a military base and many Filipino Americans are in the service. They generally prefer the Republican Party because it has been supportive of the military. So, there's a big population of Filipino Americans in the United States. But are they a political force? Not really. Many Filipino Americans do not really vote. Many of those I met here are not even registered voters. And this is what the Philippine consulates here have been trying to change. They want the Filipino Americans to go out and vote so that the Filipino vote would be recognized and politicians would start paying more attention to their concerns. There's power in numbers, but it remains untapped. So we are going to see in the coming elections if more Filipino Americans are going out to vote. Until next time, this is Rappler Carmela Fonbuena.
Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, 9 suspects believed to be behind the attack on Pakistani teenager, blogger, and anti-Taliban activist Malala Yousafzai were arrested in Pakistan Wednesday. One of those arrested was primary suspect, 23-year-old chemistry student Ataullah Khan. Khan's mother, brother, and fiancé were also arrested. Malala, who was shot by armed militants during a school van attack last October 9, is currently in Birmingham, England, undergoing treatment. She remains in stable condition. At number 4, the C Group formally enters into an agreement with casino billionaires James Packer and Lawrence Ho to build Entertainment City, a $1 billion gaming venture in Manila. Entertainment City is the integrated tourism and gaming complex of state-run Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, that will rise on reclaimed area along Manila Bay and near the Manila Airport. At number 5, days following Monday's deadly attacks in the Gaza Strip, a truce has been negotiated between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas. The terms of the Egypt-led negotiation are unclear and the duration of the ceasefire unknown. Rocket attacks between both sides have killed at least 4 people and injured 5 others. Tensions in the Gaza Strip have risen. And at number 6, despite losing to Timothy Bradley earlier this year, the World Boxing Organization names boxing's only 8th division world champion Manny Pacquiao as Fighter of the Decade. It also names Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donaire, the Fighter of the Year after capturing the WBO Super Bantamweight title in an impressive shutout of Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. Pacquiao is currently training for his 4th match against Juan Manuel Marquez. Donaire is scheduled to close the year with a match against Jorge Arce of Mexico. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has its own mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click on how you feel, and your vote will come down to the middle of the front page of Rappler to the Mood Navigator, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also takes the top 10 stories that have gotten the most number of votes on emotions and places them on the front page for you to see. If you take a look today, the top story, New Philippine Cardinal tells church, be humble, 74% inspired, 19% happy. Interesting, this one, why it's good to be a Filipina, new stats that show that Filipino women are actually in a good position in terms of gender balance. 67% happy. This contributes to the mood of the day. Today, most people are happy. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Thursday, October 25, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.
I'm a fatalist. That's my philosophy in life. I don't actually regret things, but I learn from bad choices or negative experiences. My experience is quite different because I deal with soldiers, and soldiers are very transparent. What you see is what you get. But in politics, it's completely the opposite. I still get blindsided a lot. You get stabbed a lot, actually, in the back, and sometimes in the front.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
Halika kayo, magsilapit kahit na po ilang saglit. Pakinggan niyo itong awit na di na mauulit. Pero wag pong magagalit sa mga iguguhit. Ang hagupit na sinapit, mapait, masakit, malupit.